So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll just start by talking about some of the things Attorney Shiro just shared with you. He put up the absolute difference videos, 14 and 15, and he had his paralegal clicking through and showing you, and then he paused it on a certain time. I don't know what the time was, but he paused it at a certain time, and he circled two areas, one up by Josh's head and one at his feet. And he claimed both of those objects were the stool. So I have no idea what he's talking about. He said, look down here. This is the stool at his feet. And then he said, look at this object up here. And he circled that one. That's the stool. That's Josh swinging the stool. I don't know. I don't know who had the stool, where the stool was, who picked it up first. John Laporte was very clear. He said Kevin Sehmer walked out of the bar, grabbed the stool, and threw it in the direction of Josh. And then I walked out to the curb in the street and picked it up later. Uncontroverted. He never even asked him about it again. There's a stool in here somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. Really doesn't matter. You don't have to sit here in your deliberations and figure out exactly who had the stool, when, and where. You don't, because Mr. Shiro was flat out wrong on one thing. He told you, I can provoke a fight and still claim self-defense. He said that. That is not the law, ladies and gentlemen. Judge Domino will tell you what the law is after we get done with our comments. It is very plain. He will read this sentence to you. A person who engages in unlawful conduct of a type likely to provoke others to attack, and who does provoke an attack, is not allowed to use or threaten force in self-defense. You provoke an attack, you don't get to claim self-defense. So if there is self-defense in this case, you know whose part it's on? Josh's. Josh is using reasonable self-defense. Did he pick up the stool after Kevin threw it at him? Hold it up to try and keep this raging bull away from him? Maybe he did. That would be reasonable self-defense on Josh's part, if he did. You're not going to be asked who picked up the stool, who threw the stool, where did the stool land. You're going to be asked, is he guilty of causing Josh's death? Did he batter him? Aggravated battery in a way that caused his death? That's your question, ladies and gentlemen. There is no doubt, Kevin Sehmer provoked this entire incident. Give me 1 second, I'm going to ask you to put up my table, please. It is up, okay, thank you. Thank you. Put up number 11. The video from inside Tabby's. We're going to talk about this. This is the one enhanced by the crime lab where they turned up the volume. So hopefully it's loud enough. Starting at 0.
remember less than more.
Pausing it at 47 seconds. Joshua Davies just walked away. Just walked away. Kevin Sehmer verbally attacks him the minute he meets him. Why do you have those tattoos? You're going to hell. You're a sinner. Joshua Davies walks away. First attempt by Josh to cool down the situation. Stopping at 103. Aggressive act number 1 by Kevin Sehmer. F you, pointing directly at Josh Davies. Provocation.
Hey, put him out there. Practice falling down. Right out there.
109. Go outside and practice falling down. I'll be right out there. He has just told you, ladies and gentlemen, in that statement, his intent is to get Josh Davies on the ground. And he's inviting him to fight. I'll be right out. Go right ahead out. I'll be right there. Fighting words from Kevin Sehmer. Aggressive act number 2.
Come on, motherfucker, let's go.
112. Come on, MF, let's go, as he marches over to Josh's position. Look at the reaction of Laura Burke. What the heck is going on? Aggressive act number 3 from Kevin Sehmer, right there. Approaches him. What does Josh do?
Well, then shut your fucking mouth.
Josh says, no, 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 stop it. He's not bait. He's not taking the bait. He's not engaging. He's backing down. He is standing down, saying, stop it. No, no, no. He never moves a muscle. He looks over his shoulder. He doesn't turn around and confront him. He doesn't point at him. He doesn't curse at him. He says, stop it. Is it over now? Nope. Because then Mr. Sehmer says, shut your effing mouth. Aggressive act number 4.
Trying to be funny. Trying is a key word. Trying. Yes. That was the point that you said. He's just being a little girl. Little Karen.
Stopped at 132. Aggressive act number 5, 6. Calls him a girl, a Karen. I don't even know what that means. Brian couldn't tell us, but he thought it was insulting. Fighting words from Kevin Sehmer. Josh does not respond in kind. Josh stays in his position at his table, away from Kevin Sehmer.
Like I said, Walter, falling down, right out there.
Again, my intention, Kevin Sehmer says, is to put you on the ground. Go out there and start practicing. I'll be right out. Provocation. Both of you. Now he's the tough guy. He's going to take on both Brian and Josh. He ain't afraid of that. Both of you go out there. I'll be right out.
Yeah, this is in town. Kevin is not as nice as Tom is. Kevin doesn't put up with bullshit.
Aggressive act 9. Kevin doesn't put up with bullshit, pointing at Josh. Josh does nothing. Talking to his wife, agrees with his wife. It's not worth it. I'm going to go outside and wait. .202, in fact, he leaves. That's it. Josh walks away. Never uses fighting words, never confronts Kevin Sehmer in kind. Now, Attorney Sherrill will tell you, well, that's it. It was over. No reason for Josh to come back in now. That was the end of the dispute. But it wasn't. Absolutely not. Josh is outside now. Next thing we hear from Kevin Sehmer.
It's a pussy.
Fighting words. Is he cooled down? Is it over? Josh is outside. Is he cooled down? Does Kevin Sehmer think it's over at this point? Now watch Laura Burke. She's got 2 drinks in her hand. She told you, I took his drink and I was trying to lead him out the back door because I wanted to separate them. I wanted to get him either on the back patio or back over to Beer Snobs to his friends. So she's got 2 drinks in her hands. Watch what Kevin Sehmer does. Takes the drink and plants it back on the table. Is it over? Is it over? He's not going anywhere. Real easy for him, if it's over in his mind, to just walk out that back door, go back and pick up his buddy Tom, or go back and have a drink with Laura on the back patio. It's not over. It's not over by any means.
And neither does he. Maybe you guys are actually really good friends. I've known Johnny forever. 20 years. This guy. 20 years. Yeah, it's been a lot. I like John. Maybe you're taking it. Maybe you should make something.
I'm serving on.
Maybe you should make something.
Don't take.
250. Josh is back in the door. Look at his feet. He never even crosses the threshold. So for people to claim he came back into the bar is really an overstatement, because he never enters the bar. He opens the door and he says to his wife, "Are you still talking to that asshole?" Well, can you blame Josh for saying that at that point? Can you really blame him? What he doesn't do is he doesn't threaten Mr. Sehmer. He doesn't call him any names. He doesn't use any fighting words. He doesn't go further than the threshold. He doesn't charge in, knock over 2 women, and get in Kevin's face and say, "F you." He opens the door and says to his wife, "Are you still talking to that asshole?" What is Kevin Sehmer's reaction to this?
What did you say?
Is it over? Is it over? Laura Burke's got him by the arm. Stop. No, no. Jen's in front of him, trying to block him. Jen, 5'2", petite woman. Kevin Sehmer, 6'2", 275 pounds. It's not over, folks. It's not over for Kevin Sehmer. He's going to go out there and he's going to make sure Josh Practice is falling down for sure. No, 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 no. From Jen. Stop. Stop. This doesn't have to go any further. It does for Kevin Sehmer. What does he do? Pushes her aside and storms out the door. Now, he would have you believe that at this point, he gets outside and 2 guys are out there with stools, right? That's his original version to Detective Hoffa. I walk outside and there's 2 guys, all armed with stools, all revved up and ready to go. Well, then, Mr. Sehmer, wouldn't you just turn around and walk back into the bar where you just came from? For safety? Why would you go out there in the first place? Why even go out there in the first place? But if you did, and you walked out there and there's two guys with stools over their head, wouldn't you just turn around and go back inside if you're not looking for a fight? Kevin Sehmer's looking for a fight. Kevin Sehmer thinks he's a tough guy. He thinks Josh is a little girl. This is provocation, folks. Provocation from start to finish. Charging out that door after Josh. You saw the hometown video. Josh is backing up, trying to get away from this raging bull. And he keeps going. He's afraid. He's afraid for his safety. Why keep going, Mr. Sehmer? Turn around and go back in the bar. Absolutely no explanation for his behavior other than he wanted to hurt Josh. He didn't like him from the start. He didn't like his tattoos. And he's going to be the one to finish this, right? He's not going out the back door with Laura, not returning to his friends. In fact, he ran. He goes up to Josh, punches him in the head, and runs. Leaves his friend behind at the band and gets the heck out of there. And when the cops go to his house at 5 a.m. to talk to him, doesn't come to the door. How drunk was Kevin Sehmer? Well, be nice to know. If he hadn't run, police could have talked to him, gauged his level of impairment, maybe asked him to take a breath test. Who knows? We know Laura Burke said he was drinking all night. Every time she saw him, he had a drink in his hand, and he was drinking vodka. Cops knock on the door at 5 a.m. He doesn't answer, so can't view him then. It's not till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon that he finally shows up at the police department and they can get eyes on him. Well, that's 12, 14 hours later. Kevin Sehmer's the one who's acting like he's impaired. He's belligerent, he's difficult, he's argumentative, and he's right. No matter what anybody says, he's going to get the last word. He's right. This was not self-defense by Kevin Sehmer by any stretch. This is a man looking for trouble. I don't know why. It's absurd. Laura Burke said he was perfectly fine at the band. When I met him out at Beer Snobs, he was a nice guy. We got along. All of a sudden, what switched in his brain, I don't know. But I do know he attacked Josh Davies outside that bar for no reason whatsoever. I know that he punched him in the head, causing him to fall down with such force that it damaged the inner core of his brain. That's not tripping over a stool. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to figure out why he did it. I don't have to prove a motive. I can't. I can't prove a motive to you. What was that button?
Oh, it is on duplicate. Oh, you're in your PowerPoint, you need to go ahead.
This is the last picture they took, Jen Davies said. There they are at the street party. Man lost his life over what? Don't know. But I do know Kevin Sehmer is to blame for it. Kevin Sehmer is responsible for his actions that night. Kevin Sehmer is responsible for Josh's death. There's no question from Brian, who was there, Jen, who was there, and John, who was there, Kevin Sehmer punched him in the head. and caused significant, great bodily harm to him, and ultimately death. That's an aggravated battery, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact that death resulted makes it felony murder. Asking you to return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.